Welcome everybody. I am this year's chairman of the board of the chamber, and honored and privileged to serve in that role, and especially privileged to work with the board that does so much work on behalf of everybody in this room and our communities. It's when I was leaving the bank to come over here tonight, I noticed this sign posted in front of the bank. Many of you all may have those in front of your businesses, "Stronger Together." And it just reminded me of what this community has been through in the last couple of years and how much stronger this community has been working together over the last couple of years. And I want to give the Chamber of Commerce and Cynthia with her leadership a lot of credit for helping pull this community together and this community of businesses together. You think about Valley Health and Shenandoah University and what they did to deliver vaccines in this community and really set an example across the Commonwealth. Terribly impressive, but just such a strong reflection on this community and the leadership in this community. And I'm proud to be part of this chamber, to be here serving with all of these folks in the room, honoring the people tonight that make a difference, the businesses and the people that make a difference in our community and make us better. You're all part of the fabric of this community. At our table earlier, we were talking about the Winchester community and just how, what a great group of people it is and how dedicated everybody is to making it better and stronger together. And just really, really proud of it and pleased to be part of it. It's my pleasure to introduce our presenting sponsor, Mark Nance, the President and CEO of Valley Health Systems. Mark, I know you're in here somewhere, I don't know where. There you are. Please join me in welcoming Mark Nance.
Look, to be clear, Valley Health is a presenting sponsor. Mark Nance is way cheaper than that. But it's interesting, Cynthia, when you told me I was going to do the welcome, I thought I'd speak first. So everybody said everything I was going to say, so this is going to be kind of a stand-up routine. Good evening, welcome to the Greater Good Award. We're really excited about being here. My name's Mark Nance. I've been the president and CEO of Valley Health now for about 2 years. Probably the most weird beginning to a career or to a tenure that you might ever have. But I do have to say, I've been very impressed by Shenandoah Valley Golf Club, and it's the first golf club I've ever been to that has an ATM. And one of the most important things about golf is a bet. And one of the biggest complaints about it is somebody saying, I don't have any money. But at Shenandoah Valley, he said, well, there's an ATM upstairs. So you can just run up there and pay your bet. So I think that's really good. But tonight we're recognizing that it had the 50. There's an ATM right there for gambling. I feel like a betting app. Told you it was going to end up being stand-up. So, we're recognizing individuals, businesses for excellence, for innovation, for ethical business practices. So we've got a lot to be thankful for here. And again, top of Virginia, I've only been here for a couple of years, but my wife Courtney and I have just fallen in love with the place. And we feel like we've been welcomed with open arms, even through masks and gloves and pandemic and all that. Last year Valley Health was really blessed to receive a Greater Good Award. We're still kind of basking in that glow. And if some of you were here last year, I was speaking into a dark theater with a bright light on me, and I was like, well, I bet I'm making a great impression on his folks. But this is so much better. Being here, smiling at each other, seeing people's faces. But as I reflected with my board a couple months ago about 2021, think about it. Last year at this time, Delta variant had not reached the United States. We'd never heard of Omicron, and we thought the vaccine was going to unify us all to rid the country of COVID, right? So the best laid plans of men and women, right? I mean, but we've come a long way. It's hard to believe it's only been a year ago. But I have to tell you, I am exceptionally proud of the 6,000 men and women at Valley Health, and Scott mentioned it, the work we did as partners in the community. Shenandoah University, the businesses, the Virginia Department of Health, we came together and showed the state of Virginia, well, Commonwealth, I'm sorry, I'm from South Carolina, still working on this. I had to look it up, what's the difference? Commonwealth means state. But I'm so proud of our 6,000 people, right? I mean, they've done it all. And I feel like, wow, I stepped into this opportunity as a leader. And people ask me, wow, this has probably been terrible, hasn't it? And yes, it's been terrible. Yes, there's been sickness, there's been death, there's been loss. But I've never been more proud to be in the ministry of healthcare. And I've never been more prouder of our people. There's one individual that I want to recognize tonight, though, Skip Phillips, who many of you heard he announced his retirement today. It's serendipitous that we get to share that with you all tonight, but I think a lot of people thought, and it was even said in national media, that healthcare leaders were sitting in their pajamas doing Zoom calls while the nurses and doctors were doing the work. I can tell you that was not the case at Valley Health. We were there, we were delivering food trays, we were greeting people in the ED, we were cleaning rooms, we were doing whatever it takes. Nobody more so than Skip Phillips. For me to come in and have a skilled executive managing the pandemic while I was trying to figure out where the bathroom was, I can't tell you how much it's meant to me. And he was there 24/7. He was worrying about what's going to happen with the physicians, what's going to happen with the people, how do we take care of the community. And I just think that you have to recognize that kind of service, that kind of dedication. Skip's been working for 44 years, and he's been in the Ministry of Healthcare for 35 years. And that is so what I was getting ready to ask you to do was let's recognize Skip for a career very well done. Because we're on a limited time, we're not going to let Skip talk. But he will get his chance to be celebrated over the coming weeks and months. So I don't know where I am in my stand-up routine, but I think everybody has thanked everybody that I was going to thank. I just want to say Valley Health is honored to be a part of this community. We are honored to serve alongside of all of the people who are growing business, who are taking care of people, who are creating commerce. And we absolutely want to wish our congratulations and our positive thoughts to all of those who are winning awards tonight. And it's our pleasure to serve alongside you. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you to all the team at Valley Health for all you've done. That you're still here, you're still standing. We appreciate it. We also really appreciate Valley Health's support of this event throughout the years. It really is the culmination of community spirit and what keeps this community as vibrant as it is, as meaningful as it is. We're a very relational community. We see this chambers throughout the state that we really are a very different community than some others because of the types of relationship we have. And as I sit here and look out across this room, it is such a privilege to represent you. I think of myself as an ambassador representing each of you. And you're such incredible people to just pinch myself pretty much daily. The privilege of representing you in the community when I get to connect you to other places and other people to do good in this community. And it's amazing. And there's some amazing things coming. I feel like John Lamato, wherever you are, John was an amazing person and guide to me when the pandemic hit of how to hold this chamber steady. He said, it's okay. I'm kind of a racehorse, and so I wanted to just, it was really hard for me to not just keep growing. I'd just come into this role and just wanted to move things so hard and fast, and he gave me permission to just stay safe in the harbor. And that's what we've done. We stayed safe in the harbor. We strengthened ourselves. kind of pulled back a little bit and got financially sound. I don't know if you all know this, but we paid off of our building during the pandemic. So we were in really good financial position to grow, and crossing our fingers that we're ready to go, that we're not getting pulled back again as things move forward. But we're really excited about some really fun things happening. One thing I wanted to make sure everybody's heard about is Win Life TV. This is a new collaboration that the Chamber has started with Todd Bartley and Wink 1140, is that right? Todd, where are you?
1400.
1400, sorry, thanks, Corey. So y'all who grew up here with the Blue Channel on Channel 3, I know some of you all are young enough or had kids growing up at the Blue Channel, and that's where you went in the morning to find out whether school was open. And at 11 o'clock at night, all the parents were waiting to see if they might at 11:20 see their child run across the screen and score a goal or a basket. Well, we're bringing that back to the Winchester region. We're bringing back a regional homebound TV channel. It's up and running. We're in a bit of a soft launch right now, but it's Comcast channel 190. And if you don't have Comcast, you can just go to the regionalchamber.biz website and see it there. Again, we're in a soft launch right now, but you can find news, you can find weather, you can find community events that are going on, and then we'll be building the content on the main screen. So take a look at it. We're really excited about what that's going to do to unify the community. So, since 1917, yes, 105 years, the Top Virginia Regional Chamber community has thrived because of the deep legacy of community-minded businesses who continue to collaborate and serve. And if you were here last year, you saw us kick off for the first time a legacy award. And it went to Wilkins Shoe Center, owned by the Wilkins family for many years, and they were our oldest member. This year we're continuing, and we want to really thank the Wilkins family for helping to sponsor a legacy award in the name of James R. Wilkins Sr. And tonight we'll be honoring 12 businesses that have been chamber members for over 60 years. We were able to sit down with James R. Wilkins Jr., and unfortunately he couldn't be here tonight. He's out doing what he loves passionately and doing a little hunting. But Richie's Wilkins is with us tonight. But we're going to show you a little video from Jim Wilkins about the chamber and what it means to him.
My father drove into my head back as early as I can remember working in the store that you have to have a strong chamber of commerce. If you can have a great business, but if the business community doesn't bind together with a strong chamber, it's hard for one store to be successful. You need the chamber to help the activities in the community. And he's always felt that way. He was president of the chamber himself in 1954, received a Distinguished Service Award as Outstanding Citizen from the chamber. And later on, I was president of the Chamber of Commerce, and in 2014, I received the Distinguished Outstanding Citizen Award from the chamber. First father and son to receive that award, so I'm very proud of that. But I'm also proud of the fact that we have a strong, vibrant Chamber of Commerce.
Richie, if you'll join me, we're going to present the James R. Wilkins Senior Legacy Awards to, we have 9 of the 12 businesses represented tonight. Richie wanted to have a few words to say.
I just wanted to quickly tell you a few things about who James R. Wilkins Sr. was. I think less and less people in the community still remember him. But just to focus on the early part of his life, he was born in 1910 in Southern Virginia, Virgilina, Virginia. And from the age of about 12, his father did road construction. He was expected to start working, and they traveled to wherever their jobs was. One of the jobs they did was Route 9 through Hedgesville. It was the first time he came to Winchester. As the Great Depression came in the 1930s, a man from the federal government approached him looking for somebody with his background that could head up the first CCC camp, which was Camp Roosevelt. And so he was the first employee of the Civilian Conservation Corps. They ended up having about 2 million employees. It was a make-work program for Roosevelt. And he did that all through the 30s, and then as World War II broke out, he initially joined the Army and then was spun off into the Air Force and ran air bases. He was a major in the Air Force, ran about a half a dozen air bases throughout North Africa. We still have some of his letters that he received and sent while he was in North Africa, including the letter that his wife sent in to let him know that he got a son who was Jimmy Wilkins, you were just hearing there. And then after that, as soon as the war was over, he said he immediately drove back to Winchester, that his fallen in love with the Shenandoah Valley. He knew Winchester was where he wanted to be. In 1947, he opened the Shoe Center, and I believe they've been a member ever since of the chamber, or soon after. And but then during that period, I would love to have known him during that time. He must have been an amazing man. He started a chain of shoe stores. He had shoe stores up and down the valley. His background was building. He wanted to build homes. He couldn't find lots, so he started building lots. This is just from his salaries that he saved from military service and what he was able to accomplish. Then in the late 50s, he was president of the Chamber of Commerce and said, we need a university in here. We're trying to attract business to Winchester. Can't get business to Winchester. And they said, great, why don't you chair that committee? And he was able to find Shenandoah University, which was then Shenandoah College Conservatory of Music in Dayton, Virginia. They were going broke and were either going to close or find a new community to sponsor them. He was able to get them to come to Winchester, and he served almost what the role of a president would do. He had an office at the university. He went and spoke to these types of groups about the university, trying to get gifts, and really spent that time growing the university. He moved here in 1947 to do, in 1957, he had already started these various businesses, had moved to university here, and was man of the year for Winchester. Which I just find amazing in that shorter period of time what he was able to accomplish. Just wanted to say those few things about him. And that's, what the award's going to be named after. Okay.
So Emert Oil Company was not able to be with us tonight, but with us is a representative from Harrison and Johnson, PLC. They're kind of neighbors down in the Old Town Mall, right? And for all of you nominees and award winners tonight, we're going to try to grab a good shot of you here, but to really get a nice one for you to have as a memorabilia. At the end of the night, back in the right-hand corner, we have a photo op space set up. So if you'll please make sure to stick around and get some nice photos for yourself. Next, Hoddle and Willis. And Jana Sullivan of the True Value Hardware family. Come on, Patty. You never want to. Joan's Funeral Home was not able to be with us tonight, but the Omps family is here for Omps Funeral Home cremation services.
Thank you.
Perry Engineering Company. Perry family were not able to be here tonight, but we have a representative from the Winchester Star. Caitlin Porter representing that well. She does the business section for the Winchester Star.
Awesome. Thank you.
And our friends at Tri-State Nissan up on the hill.
Thank you.
And Winchester Printers. I thank Winchester Printers who every year graciously provides the program for tonight. And the sign that you see in welcoming you in. We did go in alphabetical order, so last but not least, Young Hyde and Barber, CPAs and consultants. Thanks, Randy. As we thank our legacy members, I want you to know that I am personally very mindful of your deep contributions to the chamber and our community. I've been looking through some of the historical documents recently, and it is so clear to me that the strength that we have today is because of your support, and I want to thank you. And I treasure that, and I respect it, and will honor it as I continue to move this chamber forward. So thank you very much. Take a moment right now to recognize some of our past chairs of the board. So if you are a past chair of the board sitting at table 55, that's a little inside joke with them. If you would please stand and be recognized. So I'm just going to start on this side of the room. I see some of you. So Sharon Fahrenhold, Tim Stowe, John Lamana, Bill Griffith, John Fox, Scott Arthur, Bill North, anybody else? Thank you so much for your support of the chamber continuing. Thank you for being here tonight. I really glean from your wisdom and your wise counsel, so thank you very much. We also want to thank all the sponsors tonight. Our presenting sponsor, Valley Health System. Our platinum sponsor, First Bank. Our gold sponsors, iHeartMedia, Repeatable DJ, and YHB. Our silver sponsor, and if anybody needs a ride back out to their car tonight, it's 5-Star Executive Chauffeuring, and then Winchester Printers. Our bronze sponsor, People's Inc. And new this year, I don't know if y'all are noticing the light changes going on in the room, but for Tessa, Tableware Solutions, who's made the difference between a meal and an experience, was the sponsor of our new lights that we have. If anybody needs to use them for one of your events, you know where to come. So thank you again to all of our sponsors. I also want to recognize the people who work behind the scenes to continue to elevate the chamber in our region. And I want to start tonight with our hostess with the mostest, Vanessa McAllister, who's our new Director of Programs and Events. Corey Campbell, our Director of Marketing and Communications. Director of Membership Development. Dan Hitchcock, Membership Development Specialist, and second on the lights back there for us tonight. Hannah Stewart, who is our Membership Development Specialist extraordinaire, out getting all our new members this year. We are about to have one of our best months ever in new members, so she's doing a great job along with the rest of the team. And Julie Schaefer, our Director of Legislative Affairs. I want to highlight, if you have not yet seen our Legislative Affairs Toolkit on our website, please go visit it, especially if you are a grassroots advocacy group. If your business needs help, please reach out to Julie. It's a great toolbox. It has templates on how to respectfully approach our legislators and help bring your voice to the table so that they know what the needs are in our region. So thank you to all of them. And then again to our volunteers, Andy Gale, Literacy Volunteers in Winchester area. Randy Campbell, Valley Health Urgent Care. Wife going. Ben Savory with Repeatable DJ. Carmen Moon with Part of the Home Design and Build. Linda Mossholder, former staff member, my protege, and working now with Ingenium Business and Consulting Services. And students from the Interact Club at John Kennedy High School. Let's give them all a big round of applause. And now without further ado, I bring back Mike Odell to get on with the fun night of the program.
Thank you, Cynthia, appreciate that. Skip, congratulations. Take me with you. You've heard so much about what the Chamber of Commerce does in this community. There's another thing that they don't really advertise on their website or in the brochures. It's also kind of a matchmaking service. It was 30 plus years ago that my wife Kathleen worked for the Chamber of Commerce, and I met her for a Chamber of Commerce event. And on Monday, we'll celebrate our 29th anniversary. She's a wonderful woman who has questionable taste in men. Gotta say. So what I've also noticed tonight is the Chamber's very well prepared, because they put this little teleprompter in front of me, hoping that someone who is educated in the public school system in West Virginia can read these things. I think I can, but there's a plan B in effect. He's sitting at my table, Mr. Barry Lee. I think if we go back to years and years and years together, we could count in the hundreds how many of these events that we've done. So if my voice starts to crack a little bit, oh, it's starting to. Barry, come on up. So now with the portion of the evening we hope you'll be waiting for now, the presentation of our Top of Virginia Regional Chambers Greater Good Awards presented by the Valley Health System. Let's give them a round of applause again. Each year, we honor the best of the best in our business community. This year's will be no exception. I'm honored to play a small part in recognizing 7 very special businesses and individuals that epitomize character, leadership, and community involvement. We honor all the businesses that have been the light in this community for all those around them. Round of applause for all those businesses here represented tonight. We'll start with the Holly Awards. They're chosen by an impartial committee of past board chairs based on criteria indicated. And we thank Bill North, Kevin Callanan, Mitch Moore, Sharon Farron-Holt, and Tracy Bosica for serving on this year's selection committee. And a round of applause for their work as well. Choosing these awards is never an easy thing to do. It's never an easy task because each nominee is very, very deserving. All the award recipients exemplify the qualities of creativity, innovation, hard work, risk, professionalism, and commitment to the community. We'll share each nominee's story in the April edition of the newsletter, the Voice of Business and Industry newsletter, that's printed in the Winchester Star on Wednesday, April the 6th, and will also be available in your email digitally. So winners, when your name is announced, please join us at the podium to receive your award and say a few words of acceptance. Pictures will be taken at the stage after the awards. So to announce this year's nominees and winner for Entrepreneur of the Year, we ask you please welcome last year's Entrepreneur of the Year, Tom Smulis of the True North Group. Tom?
Good evening, everybody. The Entrepreneur of the Year Award was created in 2012 to recognize an individual business person who has conceived and created a thriving business that has been in existence for at least 3 years. The individual has made an investment in starting a business and taken a risk to make it successful. I didn't get any training on this, I apologize. The nominees for Entrepreneur of the Year are Katrina Smith with Remax Synergy. Oh, could you please stand up when I call your name? Like I said, I didn't get any training. Kevin Buchanan with Glenlock Legal. Matt Schaefer with Schaefer's Barbecue and Market. And Tom Warren with Lacken and Warren Group. This year's 2021 Entrepreneur of the Year is Katrina Smith. Since moving to our area, Katrina has jumped right into our community, getting involved in building an impressive and socially conscious real estate brokerage. Katrina has been a full-time realtor in the Winchester-Frederick County area since April 2005. From her start with Long & Foster to her brokerage ownership of RE/MAX Synergy, she has earned production awards for her real estate sales for the last 16 years, in addition to being a 7-time Outstanding Service Award recipient. Now, as the broker owner of RE/MAX Synergy, not only does she help clients buy and sell real estate, she mentors other realtor professionals in her community. She is licensed in Virginia and West Virginia, specializing in the northern Shenandoah Valley and the eastern panhandle of West Virginia. That focus on providing the best service to her clients has earned her the 2019 Virginia Association of Realtors Realtor of the Year, as well as the 2015 Blue Ridge Association Realtor of the Year. She has served in all roles of the Blue Ridge Association of Realtors and is now the president-elect of the Virginia Realtors. Her work, both locally and at the state level, have made a positive impact for both realtors and other organizations. Most recently working with the state government to pass a bill allowing 501c6 associations to get their members health care. It is currently on the governor's desk. Katrina also serves as the Board of Literacy Volunteers in Winchester area, as her immediate past president, as the broker of RE/MAX Synergy. Katrina and her agents support Bright Futures and the Evans Home for Children. I cannot think of a harder working or more community-minded entrepreneur.
Do it right here? We're gonna do it right here. Thank you so much. Oh, okay. How does somebody say something after that? I was listening to him talk. I didn't realize that I had done half of those things, I think. Wow. Hi to everybody. I just want you all to know that our family moved here in 2004 to Winchester. I spent months looking for a new community when we moved back to Virginia, and Winchester was home the first day I stepped foot here. And I am proud every time I talk to a client that's relocating to this area to tell them how much I love this community and what a community it is. I can't say it enough, that the people in this community, we thrive together, we stick together, we support each other, and it is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I'm so grateful to be a part of it. So thank you very much.
Alrighty. Next is the Holly Award for the 2021 Small Business of the Year Award. To qualify for the Small Business of the Year Award, a business must have fewer than 50 employees, have been in business in the top of Virginia region for at least 3 years, meet the same criteria of growth, economic impact, creativity, leadership, community involvement, and ethics as all the award winners are. The nominees for the Small Business of the Year Award are, and please stand to be recognized. If you're here, City National Bank, Glenlock Legal, Schaefer's Barbecue and Market, Stowe Engineering PLC, Tech Clean Solutions, and Winchester Cider Works. And the award goes to Schaefer's Barbecue and Market. Schaefer's Barbecue and Market was created by Max Schaefer. Matt's grandfather started cooking barbecue at the Shenandoah Valley in 1952 to help spotlight authentic Virginia cooking. Matt grew up learning the trade from his father and his grandfather. He always craved the opportunity to run his own small business, but felt he needed to give back to his country first. So after flying helicopters in the U.S. Navy for 10 years and working in government contracting for another decade, he was ready to move back to the Shenandoah Valley for a small, family-friendly community to raise their children. He continued to run the part-time food truck he started in Arlington for a couple of years, and then decided it was time to change his life and follow his dream. The children were 3 and 1 at the time that he turned an old gas station into a barbecue joint with pastoral views of Cedar Peak Battlefield, Belle Grove, and the Blue Ridge. After 5 years and an additional child, he has certainly achieved the dream of running a business that makes a difference through serving his community, his customers, and his employees. Matt has engaged with multiple local farmers to both cook and sell their products, including steaks from Wagon Wheel Ranch and Springdale Farms, and fresh fruits, veggies, and meat from Woodbine Farms. He also sells locally made products, including Fossil Rock goat milk soap, Arbu cheese, Empty Bowl queso, Texas Tray salsa and chips, South Mountain milk, Clark and Hopkins Bloody Mary mix. Yeah, we're talking. And hot sauces. Winchester Brew Works beer, escutcheon beer, and wine from more than 30 different Virginia wineries. The market hosts spirit days for local schools, has hosted multiple fundraisers for the Middletown Fire Department. They give away countless t-shirts, hats, and gift cards for local events. They host free holiday photo shoots for the community, and really enjoy partnering with our neighbors at Belle Grove, where Matt also happens to be a board member on multiple events throughout the year. He's constantly looking for ways to explore local partnerships and jointly grow the region. The pandemic has dramatically changed the restaurant environment, but Matt did not close the market for one single day of regular operating hours. He was passionate that he had to stay open for his customers and for his employees. He understands how much people rely on him to be there, and he rises to the challenge each and every day. Middletown and the greater Frederick County area have rallied behind this business, and since the start of the pandemic, that support is what Matt loved most about running a business here. He knows the regulars by name, he enjoys meeting the community travelers who continually compliment the hospitality and congeniality of our county. Matt's grandfather would be as proud to watch him carry on the torch so successfully. He's truly created a family-owned destination. That's a barbecue joint where the community is almost as important as the homemade food. He renovated an old landmark that offers a genuine atmosphere of comfort and hospitality with a spotlight on local artisan products and foods. You'll often find his kids at the market, sometimes running the register, or eager to participate in social media posts. It truly is a family affair with Matt at the helm. Schaefer's Barbecue, congratulations.
Wow, thank you. Well, that was a lot. So thank you all very much from the bottom of my heart and my wife Julie. This is quite an honor, which we very much appreciate. I must say thank you first to my employees, because we cannot do this alone. They bring it every day, whether it's in the kitchen or dealing with customers. As many of you guys in the retail world know, it's a hard job, and it's a thankless job most of the time. So I tip my hat to them, and I say thank you to them. I also say thank you to Ms. Cynthia and the Chamber. We have a great relationship, which I really enjoy, and I just want to take this moment to also say thank you to the Chamber for the voice that you give, particularly to small businesses, the platform that you provide here in this county that allows us to grow, and then providing that voice that some of us may not have, or amplifying that voice. I know I like to talk, but really appreciate what you guys do and how you serve small businesses and large businesses alike. So thank you for that. I also want to thank Big Julie, my wife, who so graciously let me borrow that term to brand our sauces and barbecue rubs and other products. She really is a big part of the business, but most importantly, she has come along on this adventure with me, which completely changed our lives around, and I really appreciate it. I mean, I love you. Thank you. You know, I look out at the audience, and I see so many faces that are friends and customers, and you know, the mayor's over there who called us the day after we bought the building, and I didn't even know Charles, and he said, welcome to the community. We can't wait for you to get here. You're going to anchor what I call South Middletown. Sheriff Linney was one of the first people to stop by the parking lot when I was there, and he continues to come and politic in the restaurant, and he's always welcome, always welcome. So there's all my ladies at City National where we bank. So thank you all very much. Julie and I looked a lot. We were in Northern Virginia and we were ready to come back to the Valley. But we also looked all around Virginia to see kind of where we thought we would fit in. And we purposefully came to Frederick County, to the Winchester area, because we wanted to raise our family here. And I grew up in Woodstock, but I was gone for 20 years. And this community has really welcomed us. We do a lot of business with a lot of people, Valley Health and others that are in here. And I want to say thank you for welcoming us with open arms. And I really think it matters for what it's worth, what we all do here. Small businesses, large businesses, neighbors, community members, to provide a greater good, the name of the award. And I genuinely appreciate the opportunity to be part of the community, and thank you for the award.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome last year's Large Business of the Year winner, Jan Heidem Barber, Chief Marketing Officer Jeremy Shin, to announce this year's nominees and our winner. Jeremy.
All right, this is the Large Business of the Year. This award has been presented by the Chamber of Commerce on an annual basis since 1980. It is presented to a business with 50 or more employees that has been in business in the city of Winchester, Clark County, and Frederick County, Virginia for a minimum of 3 years. It meets the same criteria of growth, economic impact, creativity, leadership, community involvement, and ethics as all the awards. All right, so the nominees for the Large Business of the Year award are Green Bay Packaging, and Valley Proteins. The 2021 Large Business of the Year is Valley Proteins. In 1949, Clyde A. Smith started a business that would fulfill a dream for 3 generations. Over the next 60 years, Valley Proteins has grown to become one of the largest rendering companies in the United States. Through multiple acquisitions, expansion into global markets, and investments into the development of biofuels, Valley Proteins has flourished, providing consistent employment for many in our community. Valley Proteins is one of the largest rendering companies in the United States with several $100 million in annual sales. On average, the company currently processes 3 million tons of raw materials and manufactures over 1 million tons of value-added animal feed ingredients annually, which are marketed throughout the world. In addition, J.J. Smith, Chairman, President, and CEO for Valley Proteins, has contributed so much to the Winchester community. He has served on countless boards and associations in professional capacity. He has also served or is serving as a board member through community affiliations such as Shenandoah University, Wake Forest University, Winchester Regional Airport Commission, Shenandoah Valley Discovery Museum, there you go. Virginia Historical Society, Valley Health System Member of Corporation, Glass Glen Burney Foundation Trustee, and Congressional Community Action Project. Congratulations to Valley Proteins.
All I can say is I was reviewing the list of all the companies that have been named this award in years past, and it's just amazing, this community. I've raised money for a lot of years for different organizations, the Boy Scouts and things, and I know that you raise money in Winchester much better than you raise money in Martinsburg and a lot of the communities that surround us, and the reason for that is there's a lot of locally owned business, and out-of-town businesses do not contribute to the community the way the folks that own them and look at these people every day do. Valley Proteins has been very successful here, mainly because we've been able to employ a really good staff here. We've been here over 70 years, as you mentioned. We have around 200 employees in the area. But we've been successful because we have a lot of hardworking folks that have a very good work ethic. And we operate in a total of about 14 states. And I can tell you, it isn't that way everywhere, but it's certainly that way here in the Charlotte, including our facility in Rockingham County. I want to tell everybody a funny little story here that you're going to learn a little something about. I bet there's no one here that knows this. But it's a little bit of history of business in our community. My family's from Adams County, Pennsylvania, up near Gettysburg and Hanover. And my grandfather worked for one of these businesses in that area right after World War II as a truck driver. And his route was down to Charlestown, West Virginia. And somewhere in there, after a year or two, he decided he could do it just as well for himself, so he bought a truck, quit his employer, and started competing with his employer. I can tell you that kind of ticked me off today, but in his case, it worked out. And he continued his route on down to Berryville. And what he found out when he got down to Berryville was there was actually a chicken processing plant in Winchester that not a single rendering company was servicing. So he convinced my grandmother that if she would move to Virginia with the 7 kids she has, that he'd make so much money in 5 years that they would move back to Pennsylvania and stop by the late 50s. Well, 17 years later, in 1968, they both died 8 weeks apart. Never did move back to Virginia, back to Pennsylvania. My grandmother was happy here. But that chicken processing plant that was here, Rockingham Poultry Marketing Co-op, lasted about 4 years. It really has been a great reason for a rendering company to be headquartered in Winchester since. But we've been good operators, we've acquired better locations and been successful in the business. What I want you to know is that chicken processing plant is in the same location where this recently announced turkey processing plant is going in. And so, you know, we've been here 70 years, 66 of those years there hadn't been any kind of major meat packer in the city of Winchester. And now we're getting one back, so that's a new member for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome last year's Emerging Leader of the Year winner, Greg Bossler of Green Bay Packaging, to announce this year's nominees and winners. I think you're great, Mike. I would have chosen you. I would have chosen you. Let's see here. We will now present the, oh, you already read that. This award will recognize an outstanding young person who has demonstrated strong leadership potential. This person is under the age of 40, is employed by a chamber member organization, and has worked in the local business community for at least 3 years. Has been active in the community during that time and worked toward developing their leadership skills through personal or professional development. And the nominees are, when I say your name, you can stand up and be recognized. Ben Savory. David Kent. And Jasmine Fry. And now, I don't know if this is going to blow. And this year's 2021 Emerging Leader of the Year award goes to David Kent. All right, David Kent. It is very rare that you find a young professional like David Kent. Prior to coming home to work with his family over 10 years ago, David spent 4 years in Oahu, Hawaii, as an active duty member of the United States Marine Corps, serving in both Iraq and Afghanistan. First of all, thank you.
Upon completion of his service, David returned to Hawaii to fulfill his bachelor's degree from Hawaii Pacific University in Business Administration. Although David wanted to remain in Hawaii, his passion of manufacturing, you're silly. Silly. He wanted to, I didn't like that comment, sorry. David is married to Rachel Kent, whom he met in Hawaii. They have 3 young boys, Mason, Simon, and Evan. Outside of work, David is either with his family on their homestead or volunteering. He's a dedicated family man, working professional, and overall tremendous person who demands excellence, earns respect from his elders in the community. David has several causes in which he volunteers, including the United Way, the Associate for Manufacturing Excellence, Timber Ridge School, the Rotary Club, and the Travis Manion Foundation. I hope I said that right. Over the last few years, due to the ongoing pandemic, David has showed his dedication to his team and his community, showing up first and leaving last from Signet Marketing, working extra long weekend shifts with his father Dick, all while he has a wife and raises a family. David served his country with honor and continues to do so with his community.
Thank you all. I'm truly honored and humbled to receive this award this evening. I want to just tell you a quick story that really, to me, exemplifies this community. It's really been already stated quite a bit this evening, but I have a personal story I'd like to just share that kind of demonstrates to me what this community means and how much it's meant to me. I served 2 combat tours while in the Marine Corps, one in Iraq followed by one in Afghanistan. While I was deployed, my parents moved from Northern Virginia to Winchester. Since this was not my area that I grew up with, or I grew up in, I knew very little about the community I've come to love and call home. The only knowledge I had of Winchester was from my parents and the countless care packages I received while I was deployed. Those care packages meant everything to me and to my fellow Marines. You see, we only received mail once a month, so everyone waited in anticipation for mail call. Still, so very proud how amazing our community came together after my dad started a care package program through the Rotary Club, a club my dad and older brother and I are now members of as well. Through the financial generosity of the club, as well as the community, care packages were sent to hundreds of Marines deployed overseas, many of which would otherwise have not received any mail. And mail call was the most important aspect of any day. The community of Winchester, however, came together to ensure serving our country was appreciated. One might say it was practical application of service above self. As I glaze around the room, I see many persons who mentored and welcomed me and my family to the community, my family of 5 into this amazing community. To you, I extend a very sincere and heartfelt thank you and God bless.
Congratulations on that, David. Wahoo, Shenandoah Valley. Wahoo, Shenandoah. You made a good choice, buddy. You made a great choice. Please welcome last year's Nonprofit of the Year winner, Valley Assistance Network, Director of Community Engagement, Jennifer Hall, to announce this year's nominees and winner. Jennifer?
All right, the Nonprofit of the Year Award was included for the outstanding work that is accomplished by all those organizations who love to serve their community, like United Way and the Valley Assistance Network. They've served a minimum of 3 years in the city of Winchester, Clark County, or Frederick County, Virginia. Nominated organizations meet the same criteria of growth, economic impact, creativity, leadership, community involvement, and ethics as all of the awards you've already heard about tonight. The nominees for Nonprofit of the Year are, please stand as I say your name, Access Independence, Literacy Volunteers, Winchester area, NW Works, and the Winchester Rescue Mission. Oh, it's so bright. And the 2021 Nonprofit of the Year is the Winchester Rescue Mission. provided shelter and support to individuals and families devastated by the effect of homelessness and poverty in the northern Shenandoah Valley since 1973. Beginning as a shelter for men, the mission has expanded to assist men, women, and families, as well as transitional housing. The Center for Men and the Center for Women residential shelter programs provide for the immediate needs, including shelter, meals, clothing, and supplies to stabilize the crisis. Then, case managers begin to address the deeper issues, including substance abuse, mental illness, literacy, financial management, and develop an individualized case plan with achievable goals to progress clients towards stability and self-sufficiency. By going beyond just meeting the immediate needs, lives are transformed. In 2021, 33 individuals were moved from chronically homelessness to successfully housed and contributing citizens to our communities. The Mission Outreach Program includes a food pantry serving 1,200 boxes of food per month, community meals serve over 5,000 meals per month, and free laundry and showers provide additional support to struggling families with the goal of household stabilization. The mission is able to meet these further needs in the communities by the support of community partners, including Valley Health, Northwestern Community Services, Literacy Volunteers, ARE, Northwestern Substance Abuse Coalition, Sinclair Health Clinic, and Veterans Assistance. The demand for assistance continues to exceed capacity, which has led the mission to expand services this year. The additional location will include an emergency shelter for men and women, a new center for men, a day center, and classroom space. The expansion will allow the current location to become a new center for women, expanding capacity from 8 ladies to 35, as well as providing housing for families and clients with high medical needs. Their goal to end homelessness, which begins with providing a safe, stable, supporting environment with the necessary programs and services for individuals experiencing homelessness to transform their lives from homelessness to housing. Woo! Congratulations, Winchester Rescue.
So I honestly don't feel like I should be the one up here receiving this, because it truly is our staff who works day in and day out to do it. So if y'all don't mind, stand up, because it was really neat. As you can tell, you're rose among the thorns in our office. Honestly, guys, this is completely overwhelming, and I know it's not the reason any of us do this, to get any kind of award like this. So completely blown away by our community and what they do. I want to tell a story real quick. When the pandemic hit in 2020, I was in DC. I had the privilege of meeting with several individuals in regards to mental illness and homelessness and how we can work to solve it. While there, the czar of homelessness, who was speaking at the time, he moved the conversation from homelessness and mental illness to the pandemic, and he said, we're going to see 60,000 homeless individuals die of this pandemic by August 1. And he said it's going to get into your shelters and it's going to decimate your population. So I came home and I looked at our staff and I said, it's going to get in our shelter and it's going to decimate our population, and it may cause us to lose our life. So if you need to leave, I understand. You do what you need to do to take care of yourself. And every single one of our staff said, we're not going anywhere. We're called to do this. And so we did that. We strapped on and we got busy, and we stayed as busy as you could imagine. But I will tell you this, the pandemic's just now hitting the shelter in a way that we could have never imagined. We are just now seeing the effects of the poverty that has been created because of COVID-19. We're watching our need increase exponentially because of COVID-19. In the beginning, we did not see what they said was coming. We're seeing it now. Not necessarily the sickness. Fortunately, it didn't have the effect on the homeless population as first thought, but we're watching it affect in a poverty kind of way. And so I'm blown away by our staff. I'm blown away that I get the privilege of working with them day in and day out and watch their sacrifice the way that I am. And I can tell you, we couldn't do what we do if it wasn't for our community. So this isn't an award for the rescue mission, it's an award for our community, because you've made all this happen. I truly mean that down to the bottom of my socks, as I say all the time, all the way down to my socks. Thank you so much for honoring us, and thank you for your participation in all that we do. We couldn't do without you.
At this time, we ask you please welcome last year's Citizen of the Year winner, Dr. Nicholas Restrepo of Valley Health System, to announce this year's nominees and winners.
The Citizen of the Year award dates back to 1949 and has been considered the most prestigious of the top of Virginia Regional Chamber Awards. It is granted to an individual who has demonstrated high ethics and integrity, leadership traits, creativity, and whose actions have positively impacted the local community. The nominees for the Citizen of the Year award, if they'll please stand: J.J. Smith, the Honorable Sheriff Lenny Mulholland, and Vicki Culbreth. And the winner of the 2021 Citizen of the Year is the Honorable Sheriff Lenny Mulholland. Sheriff Lenny Mulholland was born and raised in Cumberland, Maryland. From 1977 through 1979, Lenny worked for the Allegheny County Sheriff's Office in Cumberland. In 1979, at the age of 21, Lenny headed east to Winchester, Virginia, and became a police officer with the Winchester Police Department. Lenny worked his way through the ranks as patrol officer, K-9 handler, investigator, sergeant, and lieutenant in charge of the Criminal Investigations Division. In 2002, Lenny became the sheriff of the city of Winchester and held that position for 12 years, 3 terms. Sheriff Mulholland then ran and was successfully elected as the sheriff of Frederick County, Virginia. Lenny is currently the only sheriff to have ever served as both the sheriff of a city, 3 terms, and then run and successfully serve in the position of the county sheriff. Sheriff Mulholland is responsible for 450 square miles and over 89,000 residents. Sheriff Mulholland commands 149 sworn law enforcement personnel, 10 office staff, and 4 communication personnel. He has been in law enforcement for over 43 years, was a K-9 handler for 22 years, handling the K-9s and bloodhounds. Sheriff Mulholland is a graduate of the FBI National Academy graduate number 188, past president of the Virginia Sheriff's Institute, and is currently the secretary of the Virginia Sheriff's Association. He's a graduate of the National Sheriff's Institute, has been a mentor for Sheriff's Institute and the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center. In his spare time, Lenny is very involved in the community as a board member of the Evan Home for Children, board member of Our Health, customer of Schaefer's Barbecue, co-chair of the Career and Technical Education Campaign for Timber Ridge School's new building, board member of the Northwest Regional Adult Detention Center, board member of the Northwest Regional Drug Task Force, the Easter Bunny at Easter for Winchester Medical Center. Secrets out. And he's Santa Claus at Christmas for nonprofits. Congratulations, Sheriff Mulholland.
Can you give me a minute to gain my composure? I got to start over at table 16 with my significant other, Barbara, my son, Brandon, my adopted son, Charles, and everybody else, Johnny and Irene and George and Carolyn. 43 years ago, well, let's go back 45 years ago when I was up in Cumberland. There was a point in time when I was 13 and a guy named Francis took me over to 59 Prospect Square in Cumberland. Anybody knows Cumberland? That's the address for the Allegheny County Jail. At age 13, I took a tour of that jail, and the rest is history. I'm here and not in jail. When Dr. Restrepo read about the personnel that I have, you know, I've been blessed in the 43 years that I've been in Winchester, in Frederick County, and I'm blessed with the personnel that I have at 1080 Coverstone Drive, Winchester, Virginia, which is the Frederick County Sheriff's Office. Without those people, the 90,000 citizens of Frederick County every day wouldn't have the support and protection that my personnel give them. I'm proud of them every day. I'm honored and blessed to get this award, and I run out of things to say other than thank you. I'm humbled and I'm blessed. Thank you.
Lenny, we're in a good mood. I was running late today, coming out 5:22. Look the runner up.
You know, for what it's worth, Chris Cooley came for Apple Blossom one day, and while he was making his speech, he talked about the ticket that he got, and that the troopers did away with it. Yeah, no, I can't do that.
Congratulations, sir. We'll now present the 2021 Lifetime Community Impact Award. This honor is bestowed on an individual who has demonstrated a lifetime of high ethics and integrity, leadership traits, creativity, and whose actions have positively impacted the local community. This is only the second time in history of the Greater Goods Award that this award has been presented. Finally, the nominees for the Lifetime Community Impact Award are Mary Lee Bowser, Sheriff Lenny Mulholland, and Shelley Lee. And the 2021 Lifetime Community Impact Award winner is Barry Lee. So Barry Lee is known as the voice of Winchester. No question about that. On his new podcast adventure, Breakfast with Barry Lee, his tagline is dishing out ample servings of positivity, humor, and community spirit. Barry lives in Frederick County with his wife Mary, a dog, 2 cats, 5 goldfish, and he and his wife are the parents of 2 young adult kids, Brian and Brooke. Barry spent 45 years on the radio, 37 years at Wink FM as the morning show host, and 21 years on television as the host of Cable Talk. He is the founder and producer of the Chain of Checks since 1986 and has raised to date over $1.5 million for local nonprofits. He has volunteered and or emceed over the years at the Apple Blossom Parade, the Top of Virginia Regional Chamber of Valor Awards, Out of Darkness, Walk to End Suicide, the Salvation Army Food Drive, First Night Winchester, Shenandoah High School Talent Show, Middletown 4th of July Parade, and the Lord Fairfax Community College Follies, just to name a few. He's been visible in the greater community by assisting many radio listeners with funerals, weddings, and also wedding proposals. He gives of himself for the enjoyment of others. He's been honored as Middletown Citizens of the Year in 2020, Community Foundation of Northern Shenandoah Valley Award for the Chain of Checks, and received the Rotary International Paul Harris Fellow Honor in 2021 for his vast community service efforts. Barry Lee is a very genuine and sincere individual, and When he learned that he'd been nominated for this award, he said, "I felt so honored to be listed with two dear friends, Shelley and Lenny, for their longevity award, and I love them dearly." When asked about his name, this is what Barry had to say. "My middle name is Lee, but when I started my first radio job in 1977, the program director didn't want me to use my last name, Bowser. I told him I didn't want to be a phony and asked if my middle name would work. So my full name is Barry Lee Bowser. The post office has been great delivering with both names. Throughout our marriage, my wife has been referred to Mrs. Lee many, many times. When I think of a recipient for the Lifetime Community Impact Award, I immediately think of no one more deserving than Barry Lee. He is 100% authentic in all aspects of his life, serving the community without seeking attention or personal accolades. This attention is well deserved. My friend Barry Lee."
Just to be listed on the same page with Shelley and Lenny is honor enough. Love you both. And those fireworks, wow. Wow, man. You know, I've been blessed to do what I love for 45 years, radio, TV, but to be able to connect with so many people, to interview so many people in this incredible community. I don't know, I've always said that somehow, I don't know, it's something spiritual or, it just seems like good people get funneled into this community. Our chain of checks, I mean, every year we're just surrounded by angels, and they're the people that make it work. You know, your dollars that help us reach out to nonprofits. But man, in 36 years with Mrs. Lee, I'm a lucky guy. I really am to do what I've done on the radio and on TV. So thank you very much. And I want to thank the Chamber. You know, with all the hurt that's going on right now around the world and the heartbreak, it's nice to just look across the room and see the greater good in all these faces, and it just, we needed this. Thank you. Thank you.
So please join me in congratulating tonight's award recipients. Those individuals and businesses that have displayed leadership, creativity, and commitment to excellence and the greater good that lights our entire region. We've had a great night here tonight. Round of applause all around. So I didn't mean to